Hi, Cassie.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, creepy people.
Oh, hello.
Hello. This is PNW Hunts and Homicides, where, what is it that we do again? I'm just kidding. We chat about true crime, the paranormal, and all things creepy in the Pacific Northwest.
Or
The PNW.
if you're nasty. Oh, we did that good.
Ooh, that was good. I didn't know you were joining me.
I felt I was feeling it.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like that's probably about the same as like when you're in one of those churches, and people feel the spirit.
I felt your spirit for
Yeah.
sure. Your nasty spirit.
My nice spirit. What else do we do here?
Oh, I think we do some tarot reading at the end of every episode for a little deeper insight into our topic. And I'm just now remembering, I don't think we said that in the last episode, but oh well.
I don't remember if we said it last time, but we said it this time. And, better late than never.
They'll figure it out.
Platitudes.
Better sometimes than never.
Yeah. Better that we did it that one time. Okay, moving on.
Okay, I'm going to be under my blankie here. Hopefully I don't have to take my hands out.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
What do you need my hands for?
Couldn't tell you.
They're busy under my blanket. Leave me alone.
Alrighty. Well, maybe we'll just have an impromptu hand check, shall we?
Hand check. They're just cold, you guys.
They're just cold. She's so cold. Okay.
That's why you made me a blanket.
It's true. It's quite literally true. All right. Should we get into it?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, great. Your enthusiasm is, as per usual, underwhelming. Eric Tamiyasu was born November 23rd, 1959, to parents Mitsugi, who went by Mitz, and Jinko Jean Kiyomura. Tamiyasu.
Jinko jeans? Isn't that like a thing?
It's going to take a lot to get me out of that. Luckily, I think I'm going to refer to her as Jean, which was what she went by.
Okay.
So
I like what is it? Mitzi?
Mitz.
Mitz. Not Mitzi. That's
Mitz.
Like a cat, but like.
Yeah. Or Mitzi kind of has a little bit of a feminine air to it. Right. And Mitz is Eric's dad.
Okay.
Mitz was born and raised in Hood River, a graduate of Hood River High School in 1941.
Wow.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot of people out there in 1941.
No. And due to events, sometimes there would be less people. Do you remember anything about the 40s?
World War II?
Yes. So good.
Only because we've talked about it like recently in a bunch of episodes for some reason.
We sure have.
But yeah.
I think we've discussed World War II is sort of like my Roman Empire sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that one war. During World War II, Mitz and his family were forcibly relocated like many other Asian Americans.
That old thing.
That old thing. They were held at camps in both Wyoming and California. When they were eventually released, the family returned to their family orchard in Hood River.
Oh, an orchard.
Yeah.
Because Hood River is like the fruity place with the Fruit Loop and stuff.
Yes.
I want to focus on the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're coming in hot with not a lot of good stuff. And I'm going to be honest, I went backstory and I was looking for some good folksy, wholesome stuff, and it's there. And then it's also real dark.
Oh no.
This is also where Mitz met and fell in love with Jean Kiyomura, who herself was an Oregon native born in Portland. Her family had also endured internment during the war at Minidoka in Idaho.
Have we talked about that place before?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, that sounds really familiar.
I thought that might ring a bell. Yeah. Unfortunately. Shortly after she graduated from high school and the family was released, she went to work as a nurse for Shriners Children's Hospital in Minnesota.
Okay.
Despite the harsh realities they had faced during wartime, both were young people who seemingly went on to thrive and give much of themselves to those around them.
Aw.
I mean, a nurse at a children's hospital.
Seriously.
Yeah. It's unclear from my research what eventually brought her back to the state of Oregon, but once she made her way, the couple quickly united in a whirlwind romance.
Ah, I love a good whirlwind.
I know. In the post-World War II era,
Say World War II whirlwind romance 5 times fast.
I barely said it the one time. Thank you very much. Thank you and good night. The pair started a family and went on to have 4 children: Stan, Eric, Teresa, and Ramona. Jean seemed to revel in their fruitful life, tending to their children as well as the orchard with her husband and some of their extended family. Having access to all of the finest fresh fruit one could want led to legendary expertise in making her own jams, jellies, and particularly pies.
Ooh. I was literally thinking about like jam.
Jam.
Yum.
She was an accomplished woman when it came to traditional endeavors in homemaking and child rearing, but she was also passionate about her more leisurely endeavors like cross stitch, playing the piano, and she was also a serious Portland Trailblazers fan.
Wow.
I know.
Okay. Super wholesome.
I know. And it's interesting because some of her hobbies in particular reminded me so much of Chris's mom. The
Aw.
cross stitch, the blazers. Adorable. I love it. She also kept in touch with many friends from all over by sending letters in her beautiful cursive handwriting.
Ooh. I love a
Yeah.
good handwritten letter.
I know.
I have terrible handwriting, so I'll write you a letter and I'll make it smell real nice, but it's not going to look great.
I mean, it might look great in the sense that, do you enjoy gel pens?
I mean, yeah.
The shimmery kind?
Mhm.
Oh, hell yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you have bad handwriting, you have to write in a gel pen. It's the law.
I think so. Yeah. The tone is about to shift. And we're not even really getting to the sad.
Sad. There's more sad than just normal sad. There's
It's
sad.
actually just layers of sad.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought, let me open this with something light. How about a little bit of a chat about, I don't know, something casual like jams and jellies and, the government forcibly turning its own citizens.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I hates it. That's the light part. Jean passed away at age 88 in May of 2013, just 2 years after her husband. They both seem to have lived very full lives and both passed in May, just 2 years and a handful of days apart. Though Mitz would live 80 of his 88 years in the very same house that he grew up in, his life was far from doldrum. They both died at 88 also.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I know. It took me a little bit as I was reading through the information about both of them and, their lives and then their passing. And I was like, are you kidding me? It's very Notebook.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like same month, 2 years apart, same age.
I know. Isn't that strange?
That is very strange.
First off, if nothing else, there's a bizarre synchronicity of their passing. Apparently, I thought we might not discuss it, so I had to
We did.
spell it out.
We done discussed it.
Yeah. But Mitz actually died on Friday the 13th.
Ah.
Yeah.
A very lucky day, but he died on it, so that's sad.
I just think it gives real badass vibes,
Yeah.
But getting back to the land of the living, Mitz traveled abroad extensively with his beloved local Lions Club, enjoyed foraging, fishing, and even collected antiques. Kind of a cool guy.
Haunted antiques?
I don't think so.
Can we turn this into ghosts? Aw.
He was an active community member and a friend to many, frequently sporting a jaunty hat as well as a cigar and a smile.
What is a jaunty hat?
I think it just means like he just was like very casual about how he wore it. I'm not totally clear on that.
A jaunty hat.
Yes, I do have some pictures of him and I think it's an apt description, but
I'm picturing one of the hats with like the helicopters on it.
no.
A skew on his head, just a twirling.
I think maybe a skew is a good way to describe it, but I don't recall seeing a helicopter.
That's what I'm thinking in my mind. You know those little helicopter hats? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about. It's
okay.
just doesn't apply. By contrast, their son Eric, at 41 years old, though he shared his father's occupation as an orchardist, and the general good-naturedness of both of his parents, it seemed he was more reserved. I think that's why, at least in part, so much of the focus on this family, and Eric in particular, has to do primarily with the strange circumstances surrounding his 2001 death, rather than the beautiful tapestry of the lives that they all led. June 25th, 2001, Eric and his longtime friend, Diana Anderson, had been spending the evening together at his home, which happened to be located within a fairly isolated area of Hood River. Though the two had been very good friends for some time, they had met that evening with the intention of discussing their relationship, as it seemed that they had developed romantic feelings for each other.
Oh, they got a DTR.
Wait, what's DTR?
Define the relationship.
Oh.
Duh.
It looked to be the start of a new phase in life, one that might mean a serious relationship, though they considered that evening to be their first official date.
Aww.
Yeah, very sweet.
Very sweet and wholesome.
At first. While at Eric's home that evening, the couple had heard tapping sounds outside and felt like the sounds were emanating kind of from the area of the front door. Upon inspection, after the doorbell rang, no one appeared to be outside, but there was reportedly a lone shoe print present somewhere outside.
Okay. So tapping on the front door, doorbell.
Doorbell, yeah.
And then one shoe print. So someone's hopping around.
Yeah. Pogo sticking it. Mm-hmm. This was troubling to Diana as she drove home, and has no doubt continued to puzzle her in the days since, as the last person to see Eric alive.
Oh, no.
After he was murdered in his own home, execution style.
Oh.
Nearly a week went by before anyone was concerned about his absence. Concerned enough that they actually went to check on him.
Even what's her name? Diana? Is that what her name?
Yeah, it's kind of unusual, I think. But
I mean, I don't know what was normal for their relationship, but that seems like a while.
There's a lot of discourse about that, to be honest. And I think just based on the fact that it was 2001, texting wasn't really as common.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you might not hear from a friend for a week at a time, and that probably wouldn't have been all that unusual, I think.
Didn't they just like DTR?
Yeah.
You think you would be like excited and want to see the person every day, but who knows?
Or like at least hear from them.
Yeah.
So you know that it didn't get weird.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Interesting.
But then also, like, you'd be like, play it cool, let him call you.
Yeah. It's hard to be a woman.
Yeah. Sure is. On June 30th, Don Dixon stopped by to check on him, as no one in his life had heard from him recently. Conveniently, he had a key, reportedly to the back door. I'm not sure if this is something that's mentioned specifically because there were multiple different keys for entry to his home, or if it's some sort of weird, underhanded, or almost Freudian way of insinuating something else. I'm not even sure what that would be exactly. It just feels, if I'm like, poking, I'm poking on that. I
Like
feel,
he had the key to his back door, that kind of thing?
I don't think so. I don't even know that that would be, no, I'm not, it's just weird. And it's actually, the whole thing about the key is just weird. And maybe that's what I'm picking up. We'll talk about the key.
Okay.
Well, yeah. It just feels like there's something there. And I don't know. I start doing things like this because I don't
know. Yeah, I mean, the last
know.
house I lived in has a different key for the back door, so
I've not personally experienced that.
just because I guess
Just seemed odd. Like,
Yeah.
does he only want him? Like, is that only giving him access to a certain part of the house? Like, what does that mean?
Maybe they didn't use the front door.
So many questions. But obviously, someone tried to do something to the front. They knocked. They rang the bell. So many questions.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's not that weird. Seems weird.
It's weird that like you bring that up and you think it's like really weird. And I'm like, oh yeah, the last house I lived in had a different key for the back door.
Thanks a lot, asshole.
Sorry. It's just my life experience.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that is interesting because I feel like I thought that's odd. I don't think that's necessarily like a typical thing, but it certainly wasn't beyond the realm of possibility. I just was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Amongst other questions that can't be answered.
Wait, I have one more question.
What?
What if it was just a key to the back door? You know that for sure? Or was it just like he just went in the back door?
I don't even know.
Okay.
That's the thing. I'm like, what are they trying to say with this? Like, maybe because, like, maybe there was a deadbolt on the back door and he only had the key that like unlocked like the bottom lock. I don't.
Who knows? We get stuck on the weirdest shit, but
We really, yeah. Trust me, I was real stuck on it, and it's not even an interesting aspect of the case overall.
Right.
So can't choose when the hyperfocus activates. Clearly.
Right. Last time I learned a lot about heraldry. We remember.
Yeah. The nature of their relationship would be called into question later, and I can't help but think that the rumor mill might have gone into overdrive, which is actually the understatement of probably my week. Because remember what I was saying about rumors?
Right.
Tying our two episodes together?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Dixon readily identified an odor upon entering the home, and when he eventually discovered Eric's decomposing body, he quickly called 911. That wasn't the only call that was made. Though it's not entirely clear which call occurred first, either to 911 or the call I'm about to describe. I think 911 first. There's a lot of discrepancies or things that are unspecified.
Okay.
Yeah. Eric's sister stated that in a phone conversation with Dawn at some point, after he discovered her brother Eric's body in his home, Dawn told her that he did not see any exit wounds on Eric's body. You have the benefit of knowing that he was murdered in a style that is described as execution style. But she found this very odd because they didn't know he had been shot.
Who didn't know?
No one.
Right. But
no one knew he had been shot.
But this guy goes in and saw his body.
Right. Even people that saw his body
couldn't tell.
Could not tell.
Interesting.
Don claimed that he believed Eric had died by suicide, explaining that was why he mentioned potential exit wounds. Which is interesting because people can die by suicide other than shooting themselves.
Yeah.
It had not been apparent when his body was initially discovered that Eric had been killed by 3 gunshot wounds to the head.
Damn.
Law enforcement could not tell.
Mm.
Apparently, both law enforcement and the man claiming to be a close friend of Eric, Don Dixon, had no reason to suspect foul play. Hood County Sheriff Joe Wampler reportedly approached Don Dixon questioning whether there was a burn pile on the property.
Oh,
That is the correct response.
it's never good.
We also would have accepted what?
What?
Or, oh, hell no.
Yeah, I don't like to hear the word like murder and burn pile in the same situation.
The same day.
No.
No. He intended to use the burn pit as a means of disposal for the mattress in order to spare Eric's family the grief of having to deal with it later.
Not your job.
Dixon was said to have agreed with this course of action at the time. I'll bet he did.
Okay.
In the many years since Eric's death, there have been a number of stories relayed about how exactly this unfolded. Some accounts state it was Don Dixon's idea to burn the mattress. It's important to note here that some source material states that the mattress alone was burned thereafter, while others stated it was both the bed and the linens. I do believe that this is clarified in statements made by the DA that I will share a bit later, assuming that you believe public statements made by the DA.
Okay.
Certainly you wouldn't have any reason not to.
Uh-oh. I don't trust your face right now.
Not a face to be trusted.
It would be weird though to like burn the mattress and not the linens if your goal is to like get rid of it so no one else has to take care of it.
Yeah. And you don't think that death is suspicious at this point, so why would you keep the linens?
Right.
But they insist. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd like to show me the linens.
Where are the linens?
Though Dixon was certain that Eric was dead, he was quoted as saying of the discovery, "It was like he was in bed sleeping and he was shot. There was no struggle." One of the sheriff's deputies who reported to the scene, Detective Gary Tiffany, stated, Jerry, not really sure. Don't really care. Sorry, Jerry or Gary. "Somebody came in here for the sole purpose of killing Eric. They didn't steal anything. They didn't take anything." Which feels redundant to say, but if nothing was taken... Sorry, I feel like a dick. I don't know why. Jerry/Gary didn't really do anything wrong here, so far as I can tell, but I'm just so fucking angry. If nothing was taken from the isolated home, it stood to reason that the primary motive for entering the home was likely the murder. The case took on a whole new dimension with the discovery of the gunshot wounds. So remember, they have no fucking idea this man was shot.
Right.
And they've already burned his mattress.
What?
But alas, what could have been critical forensic evidence in the case had already been lost forever. Because, again, already burned it.
How did they think he died? There's got to be like blood. He wasn't just, right? He had blood in his body.
He did have blood in his body. I
obviously, because you said the mattress and like, I imagine.
I don't know how someone is shot in the head 3 times and that's completely escaping their complete visual field. I have heard of cases where they don't realize right away that the victim was shot.
But like obviously killed in a
something happened
manner.
I just think we just have to treat all deaths as suspicious until proven otherwise.
Right. Like the opposite of...
Maybe wait for the autopsy. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. At least.
It's a thought.
It's very weird to like walk in and be like, oh, he's dead. There's blood everywhere. Doesn't look that's suspicious.
The thing. I think if there had been blood everywhere, Doesn't sound like there was. Don't know how that's possible.
Where did it go?
Not really sure. I have a lot of questions.
Huh.
That's the least of them.
Okay.
According to Eric's family, he lived a quiet life with no apparent enemies or conflicts. 3 strong suspects in the case would emerge, though there is a 4th potential suspect that some have speculated about. In no particular order, the first we'll discuss is Eric Smith, which sounds like an alias, but
Yeah, it
is in
does.
fact his name, allegedly.
Hmm.
It actually is his name.
Oh, okay.
I'm just an asshole today. While Eric's family didn't believe there were any issues between him with anyone, Don Dixon shared a conversation that he had reportedly overheard between Eric and his business partner, also named Eric, which is unfortunate and confusing. The pair ran a small car sales company together. Eric T., who was our victim, okay, we're going to use initials,
Okay.
supposedly accused Eric Smith of embezzling money from their joint venture to the tune of about $60,000.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. If there were any truth to this accusation made by Don Dixon, that could certainly go to motive for Eric Smith in the killing.
Oh, wait, this was Don Dixon's info?
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm glad you're flagging that.
I flagged it. I
Not
put a
just
pin in
hat-
that.
Yeah, that's right. Not just a hat rack, my friend. However, as you so astutely observed, God damn it, this fucking guy. All of these fucking guys. Why are men? However, it does not seem to have ever been substantiated.
Hmm.
Each of the 3 suspects would eventually, in turn, take polygraph tests. And while it cannot be said for all 3 suspects, Eric did pass.
Good job, Eric Smith.
Yeah. Also, I mean, first, so many.
It was a long time ago, right? Or no,
2001.
2001. Well, that was
20
kind of a long time ago. That was kind of 24 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's basically like when I was born.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Anyways, so he passed the polygraph for whatever that's worth. Eric Smith has always denied that there was any issue between them regarding their business or personal finances. And no one's ever pointed to anything that proves that there were any issues or financial misdeeds
Okay.
or business disagreements or even a stubbed toe. He said they were best friends, and Eric T. had even been the best man at his wedding.
Aw. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't
Right.
do something bad to your friend, but
True.
it's just if there's no evidence,
Yeah.
if that's the only evidence.
Right. I don't trust a polygraph, but knowing what I do from my research about the suspect pool, I just don't see Eric Smith as the most viable. Look at that. This fucking guy. Don Dixon, ever the helpful friend following his unfortunate discovery, shared something else of interest regarding Eric's private life that he thought might provide illumination in the case.
Keep your mouth shut, Dawn.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Don. He said that Eric had recently told him about a new relationship that he had struck up, supposedly with a Polynesian woman who happened to be married.
Oh, no.
Eric never shared the name of this woman with Don Dixon, which he's told you everything about his life, Don. Why not her name?
Of course not. That's verifiable information.
Right, exactly. However, Hood River being such a small town with a total population of about 6,000 people at the time, and the Polynesian population even smaller, some came to suspect this might have been none other than Sheriff Wampler's wife.
Not the sheriff's wife.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
If the sheriff's wife had indeed been having an affair with Eric, which no one believes or can substantiate in any way, except for Don, of course, then perhaps the sheriff had a motive to murder Eric. That paints his decision to burn potential evidence in the case in a very different light, which is fair.
It is weird.
Mhm. That being said, it does not appear that this theory has ever come even remotely close to being substantiated. See what I did there? How I said you could see, you could see it in my eyes. I'm trying to force out like the nice way to say.
Yeah.
Sheriff Wampler also passed the polygraph test that he was administered.
Okay.
It's weird. Didn't I say that 3 people took polygraph tests and 2 of them passed?
Who failed? This seems like a Dora the Explorer episode. Like,
Don Dixon sure had a lot of theories about who might have had a motive for killing Eric. Was he just a trusted friend trying to help investigators? Or was he a cold-blooded killer trying to cast suspicion on anyone and everyone else to save his own skin?
sounds like that's the one, that last one you said.
You'll recall the unusual statement that Don Dixon made to Eric's sister when he called to inform her of Eric's death. At that point, it had not been discovered that Eric had died as a result of 3, again, yet as undiscovered, gunshot wounds to the head. Strangely, though, he told her that there were no exit wounds. Maybe he meant something else.
What else? What else could you mean?
Right. Exactly.
Like,
no, I was
Exit wounds to the house? Like, no one broke in. I don't see any like broken windows for someone to get out.
We don't actually
You
call
don't
those
call
exit
them
wounds.
exit wounds
Yeah. No.
to the house.
I was being facetious, but I really enjoy that you played that up with me.
Thank you.
That was fun.
That was
That was
good.
fun for us. Maybe he really was aware of a secret battle that Eric had been fighting with depression. And that's why he believed that Eric had died by suicide. Seems totally reasonable.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it happens.
It sure does. But then again, though Dixon had claimed that they were very close, other family members and friends of Eric claimed that that was not the case. Some of them didn't even know who he was until after Eric's death.
Don Dixon? Who this Don Dixon?
New number, who dat? Don Dixon was also the one to discover Eric dead in his home, which was only possible as he'd entered the home using a key, which people didn't know he had or that he existed. It's not necessarily a crime to make someone out to have been a closer friend than they really were, but does seem a little suspicious.
Starting to think, did he ever produce this key?
Well, he would have, to get into the house, he would have had to have had the key.
Unless he picked the lock?
I don't know.
Like, did he ever give the key to the evidence collectors?
We're doing great.
The police?
Investigators?
Yeah. Did the investigators like ask him, like, hey, show me this key that you used?
I don't know. It's unclear that was ever like fact checked or substantiated.
Or he found like the hide a key or something. Like, I'm
know.
starting to feel what you're feeling. Yeah.
A lot of questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does he happen to have one leg? How funny would that be if that's the end of the story? Does he?
It honestly took me a minute. I was like, what do you mean?
Because the one footprint.
For a second, I was literally the Jennifer Lawrence meme. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Is there something I missed?
This next part is just, man. I don't know if he did it, but I really hate Don. He seems like a dick.
Don Dixon.
Don't Dixon what?
Don't be.
Don Dixon's test results from an independently administered polygraph were inconclusive, according to the sheriff's department. They couldn't even establish a baseline, which is not great.
Yeah, so like it
kind of reads like somebody who might be trying to obfuscate the test, but with as much confounding evidence, or perhaps more accurately, lack thereof, and conflicting statements being made as rumors swirled. It's no wonder that the case garnered some intense interest, both from the public and also some pretty serious media attention. The case was featured on Unsolved Mysteries after crime victim advocate Jackie Hansen helped the family draft letters requesting the show's assistance by spotlighting the case.
Holy guacamole.
That's right.
That's really cool. I might have seen this.
You know, the funny thing is, I was so fucking mad, and Chris got involved, and then he was like, I'm fucking mad.
What?
So there's like 8,000 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Not literally.
But there's a lot.
You know which one you can't watch anymore? Just ceases to exist on God's green earth and the internet?
This one?
They link to it. You know what comes up? Totally different fucking episode.
What?
We both tried it from multiple devices, multiple different times. They linked the wrong episode.
There's no way to just like search the name and Unsolved Mysteries and have it tell you what episode it is?
Oh my God. Why didn't I think of that? No, I'm saying I literally went to the Unsolved Mysteries catalog. Multiple different catalogs, in fact.
Oh, God.
With the episode number and the episode that shows up, the one that's there, it's not the right one.
Oh, no.
It has his name in the episode description.
Huh. What? That's odd.
If anybody finds it, I'd sure like to watch it.
Can you write them an email?
Yeah. Everyone email Unsolved Mysteries.
Where's this episode?
Oh. The Hood River District Attorney made statements that he was pleased that the case would receive high-profile exposure. Because what the fuck else do you say?
You sure about that?
Yeah. Sure about that?
They're going to see all your fuck-ups.
Yeah. I mean, technically, he hadn't fucked up yet. He just gets to be the, public face of the botched investigation.
Right.
And
exactly. Like you're the face. You're responsible.
Yeah. In most jurisdictions, DA and sheriff are elected positions. So it's not a great look.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fourth suspect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who seems far less frequently discussed, which actually makes him more interesting. Through the course of the investigation, it came to light that Diana Anderson had an ex-boyfriend with a history of stalking behavior. She was the last person to have seen Eric alive, and though obviously she was cleared of any involvement, she was at his home late into the night when they heard some odd noises. They even believed her and Eric that night thought, it seems like somebody's trying to mess with us.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it. If someone's clearly tapping on the door, ringing the bell, like that's not just a branch,
Yep. Is it possible that a jealous, perhaps even deeply disturbed ex-boyfriend might have decided to take out a romantic rival? I mean, sure, almost anything seems plausible at this point, really. If you told me aliens did it, I'd say they don't have enough evidence to prove that they didn't.
I mean, he could have just been there stalking them and then someone else came and murdered Eric later. I mean,
super unlucky.
Yeah.
It would make more sense for that type of person to be ringing the bell and disappearing in an attempt to disrupt their evening that night than a typical teenage prankster, just given the remoteness of the home. Because I don't think that ding-dong ditching when your neighbor lives like a mile down the road is kind of a weird choice, but I guess not a lot to do in a small town. There's not very much information available pertaining to this theory. If law enforcement has looked into this, as you would hope, they've kept that information close. I'm not even sure that we know the name of the ex-boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
Like the public. I'm sure the police do.
Right.
Maybe. Who knows? It's hard to say what they know and don't know at this point.
Oh, God.
Initially, the Tamyasu family offered up a $5,000 reward for information in the case, eventually upping it to $10,000. But still, the case has remained unsolved. Given that fact, it can come as no surprise that the Tamiyasu family has been vocal about their frustration of how the case was handled from the very beginning. After learning that the bed where her brother Eric died had been burned, Ramona questioned what she felt was a hasty move, very possibly resulting in important clues literally going up in flames.
Mm.
The DA has stated confidently that the crime scene was processed correctly enough for a case to stand up in court. Despite the loss of potential evidence and the delays in processing that Sheriff Wampler pointed to budget cuts to explain. Only the delays in processing forensic evidence. The budget cuts weren't responsible for the burning of the mattress.
I can't believe that they said enough.
Correctly enough.
That's what I want. If my family member is murdered, if I'm murdered.
Correctly enough will do.
It can go to court. Do we have enough evidence to do anything?
Maybe. These are things that men said out loud to other people.
I also had a thought too, like, what if he had like hidden money in his mattress or like family heirlooms? Because I don't know, people do that.
Yeah.
That's not your property to be destroying.
Mm-hmm. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Furthermore, Sewell, who is, that's the name of the DA, Sewell. That's his last name, Sewell.
Okay.
Furthermore, Sewell, the DA, stated that all forensic evidence was gathered, including the bedding prior to the mattress itself being burned, despite the fact that given the condition of the body, law enforcement would not be aware Eric had been shot until roughly a day and a half later. It's like they collected all of the evidence, except the mattress.
Why were
Technically, they did collect it.
Okay.
Well, they just incinerated it after they collected it.
Weren't they saying though that it was nothing suspicious? So why were they collecting evidence even if they didn't think anything was suspicious?
Because it's a death.
Okay.
And they do that.
But they don't.
Because you're supposed to presume until proven.
But
otherwise.
It's like they did, but they didn't. But they did, but they didn't.
Yeah. Yep. Quite literally. It's unclear what, if any, professional repercussions Sheriff Wampler faced related to mistakes made in the case, though he did express his regrets repeatedly. Ramona filed complaints regarding the destruction of private property, and the sheriff's office paid for a replacement bed. Wampler stating, "I take full responsibility for getting rid of the mattress, and it is a practice this office will not do again." Alternately, he was quoted as saying, "I probably wouldn't do that again." I'm like, wait, you just said we won't do it again.
Is this the same guy who said good enough?
No.
Oh, different guy. But
that's
still,
the DA.
But still, like, why are these people just like nonchalantly talking about this? Probably wouldn't do that again. It's good enough.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, sometimes he says, "I take full responsibility and it is a practice this office will not do again."
Okay.
Unless he says the other thing where he's like, "Probably wouldn't, maybe."
Props us.
Props us. Additionally, as you might imagine, the rumors that had swirled about an affair took a toll on his personal relationships as well.
Of course. How could it not?
Wampler was also quoted as saying, "The last rumor has been the hardest because it has caused embarrassment and hurt for my wife when she has done nothing to deserve those aspersions. Which,
Okay.
fair.
Yeah.
Detective Gary, Jerry, Tiffany.
I
And
forgot that was the last name for a minute. And I was like, wait, Tiffany doesn't like go with Gary. That's not the same
I'm
name.
pretty sure it's Jerry, but it's Detective Jerry Tiffany. Sorry, Jerry. And DA Sewell have independently stated that most of the rumors surrounding the case can be traced back to, care to guess?
Don Dixon.
Ah! Himself a person of interest in the case.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in the course of the investigation, as too often happens, the story has become honestly more about opposing suspects in the case than about the actual victim. It's far too easy a trap to set and snap. Maybe while all us mere mortals are left chasing our tails. Just going to throw this out there. Okay? Picture it. Eric's spirit is perched up on a beautiful tree, enjoying the fruits of generations of the family's labor. What began as a strawberry and asparagus farm eventually became an orchard. The first fruit trees planted by Eric's grandfather in the 1930s. The orchard is now run by Eric's sister Ramona and her husband. I mean, this case fucking sucks.
It does.
But I'm just going to say the cheesy thing that I put in my notes. Maybe there's still room for growth if we learn at least one thing from this story.
Not to burn the mattress.
Jesus Christ.
Don't burn the fucking mattress. Leave it alone. But even then, like, would they have cared enough to even solve it if there were evidence in the mattress or whatever? I mean, it didn't seem like they cared a whole lot.
I mean, I think the problem is that beyond the mattress, there wasn't a lot that they could point to in terms of forensic evidence, and there was just so much finger pointing.
Yeah.
And I think whoever did this did a good enough job of not leaving enough of a trail, and then the focus just went to trying to identify who the best suspect was, and there's just,
Yeah.
who knows? I mean, I feel like there's more than one fairly reasonable theory, but I don't know if we'll ever know. And maybe the mattress didn't have any real probative value. I don't know. That's the point.
Yeah. We don't know.
We don't know.
Let's just all not burn anything from a crime scene.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yep.
Let's do better than good enough.
Look at that. We learned one thing.
We did learn. We learned a lot of things from you, but I feel like that's one of the most important.
Yeah. It's so infuriating.
That, and don't trust anyone named Don Dixon.
I felt like that went without saying. Did you need me to say that?
I said it. Come after me. Don't. I get everyone named Don Dixon in the world
Oh my God.
DMing me.
Yeah. Yeah. How about let's just not, come at me, bro, to potential murderers.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Don't come at me. Don't come near me.
Amen. Don't come near me.
Don't come near me.
Stay away.
Well, I don't know. Should we do some tarot?
Yeah, let's do some tarot.
Okay.
really want to go to an orchard
I know.
and just like hang out.
I feel like if we can do a trip out this way, it's not that far of a drive for us
Can we
someday.
go find
Let's do a
Eric's
field trip.
orchard?
Oh, yeah. And they still, I have a little bit of information about like
Oh,
the family's orchards and stuff. And so I don't know. We have a couple of Patreon minisodes to get through, but I don't know. I feel like it would be fun to just kind of, I want to tell you more things.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully we can knock that bad boy out.
We'll do that someday.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Maybe.
do some things that we say we're going to do. We definitely ate that fried chicken.
Yeah. And we watch Point Break. So
we are on top of the world right now.
crushing
I felt
it.
like I was surferty.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Let's do tarot.
Okay.
I just wanted to start by saying that we realized this episode was coming out Valentine's week.
Yeah.
Happy V-Day.
Yes.
Sad, very sad.
I know. What a topic to have
Yeah.
chosen.
But it kind of fit because we talked about at the beginning how they were DTRing, defining the
Yeah.
relationship.
It's true. Yeah.
So I thought there's a connection there. But since it
Yeah.
was so sad, I just wanted to make us feel a little better, make Caitlin feel a little better, because she brings us these sad topics and she knows you do all the research and you see
Yeah.
we've talked about it before. You filter for us and you see like the worst of the worst. So I want to make you
Yeah.
feel better. And thank you for torturing us every other week-ish.
You're welcome. Shall we cheers?
Yeah, let's cheers and open your little gifty I got you.
Okay. I'm torturing her because she's like unbelievably afraid to have something happen with these glasses or the electronics from the liquid in the glasses. So
I'm famously not good with a long stem. And our wine is like an orange wine. You can see it in the Ulta. Anyway, open your present.
oh, right. Okay.
Hurry up.
Little ASMR. Do this right by the mic. Oh. This is how you know someone loves you.
Seriously.
Whenever Chris brings these home, I'm like, fuck yeah, I married that man. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
They're Valentine's nerd clusters.
Nerds for a nerd, am I right?
So
Okay.
I knew those would make you feel better.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we have to get through this tarot reading because I got to go eat a quesadilla. And now, like, what is today?
I don't know.
Just food being put in front of me right before a microphone.
Maybe we should start a mukbang.
Okay. No comment.
That would have to definitely be charged for.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not free. That's pay to play, my dude. Okay. I do this all the time. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. I know it's on the bottom now. And then I'm going to take from the middle of the deck this one. Ooh, she purred it.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'll flip it right side up just so that everybody can see it.
Oh, the moon.
Right in front of my face.
Did you just kiss it?
I feel like I made kind of a duck sound as I was doing the...
Because if you can't see, it is a duck on the card. I realized recently we've
some
been
kind of
really
bird.
bad about describing what we're doing. We've been kind of bad about describing what we're doing because we are on video now. So it's like we can see it
Oh.
and then we kind of forget
Yeah.
other people can't.
Yeah, we forgot where we came from, you know? It's an audio medium.
You said reverse, right?
Yes.
'Kay. But I
Which
said it in the
is-
upright, just so you guys know.
Yes. Okay. I feel like everything is in reverse for me. My brain is still not really braining.
Hmm.
I have a fun little story of what we did last night. And in hindsight, considering how much my brain was just not braining, it's a little bit scary that I did it.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay. I tried turning to page 18 because it's the 18th card. And I was like, what the shit? That's not the right page. Okay, now we're on the right page. Okay. All right. Cool.
Weird.
Here we go. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, my brain is really having a tough time.
Mine is too. It's okay.
I'll explain later. All right. Keywords for the moon.
The moon.
The moon. Intuition, the unconscious, mystery, illusion, and secrets.
Well, there was certainly a lot of that happening in this story.
Yeah. The water suggests the moon's link with the emotions and the unconscious realm. The moon urges you to pay more attention to your inner self, your lunar self. The light of the sun enables us to see the world around us, but the moon allows us to illuminate what springs naturally from inside us. Okay. There's some extra excerpts in here, so we'll decide if we want to read those or not.
I think it's kind of funny that the moon is like emotions and feelings, and then you put the sign out that says "Ask me about my feelings," and we literally got like the feelings card.
Well, and as you were showing me the different options for the sign, I read it as "Don't ask me about my feelings."
She did, which sounds like Caitlin.
Well, it's like that thing where if letters are reversed in a word, your brain will still fill in. And you can read things oftentimes that are misspelled if it's like close enough. That's what my brain did. It was like, close enough. Yeah. The moon card is sometimes linked with deceit and self-deception, disappointment, and undoing, usually because you weren't listening to that still small voice within. When this card appears reversed, it may advise you to tie up loose ends connected to the past, especially to your mother or other women.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
The first part of that, though, like tying ends from your past, reminds me, you said that she had a boyfriend that was like possibly stalking them.
Yeah, the ex-boyfriend. Yeah, I definitely, that's kind of the energy that I was picking up as well.
Ooh, and like we don't know when it happened, do we? Or maybe we do. What? I just assumed it happened like at nighttime.
Oh, yes. No, it was nighttime.
Yeah. We got the moon.
Yeah, the moon. In a reading about money, you may feel incapable of handling a financial matter, perhaps because you can't see what's really going on or you're too emotionally involved in the situation to be objective. This isn't the best time to make a major decision. Ups and downs are likely now. Try not to let them throw you into a panic. This card can also indicate buying stuff as a way to pinch hit for genuine emotion or happiness. That's interesting. Okay. If the reading is about your job, a secret or hidden situation may come to light. Interesting.
The scandal.
Yes.
There's scandal, alleged.
Yes, one of the many alleged scandals.
Yeah.
This card can also point to an emotional, uncertain, changing work environment where nothing is clear. Perhaps you've let the pressures of the outside world throw you off balance and you feel disconnected from your true self.
That kind of reminds me of like letting Don Dixon convince you to burn a mattress, you know?
Ooh, that is a really good point. My head didn't really go there, but I feel like that fits. That's interesting.
I'm glad I'm recalling some of the details.
Yeah. Let's see. Perhaps, no, I already read that. Okay. In a reading about love, you've probably deluded yourself about a partner or relationship. Okay, I'm getting ex-boyfriend vibes again.
Yep.
Or you may be attempting to cast yourself in an unreal light in order to win someone's affection. Things are not what they seem. Deceit, manipulation, or inconsistency may cause problems. That's interesting. Like all of Dawn's stories and how
deceit, manipulation.
Yeah.
Causing problems.
I mean, he certainly has not been charged with a crime in relation to Eric's death, but so much of what he said that kind of had investigators looking at, oh, is this a possible motive? Is this a possible suspect? Like none of that could be verified.
Yeah. It just seemed like very
Lots.
manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe it's a coincidence, but.
Yes. There is an extra excerpt. I don't feel as though it has a tie-in, and there are two other ones that I want to skim through to see if there's something we should read.
Okay.
But this extra excerpt at the end of the reverse interpretation is the triple goddess. And remember, there's kind of, I would say, like the long-held potential suspects. There's 3 of them.
Oh.
I don't know.
They're not goddesses, though.
No, certainly not.
Oh, it's a Pacific loon.
Oh, okay. Duck, loon.
I mean, that makes sense for like nighttime because are loons nighttime ducks?
Nighttime ducks.
Loons. That's just in. Loons. Nighttime ducks.
Night man. I thought
Loons sound like that. Oh.
Do they?
I mean, they make like a crying sound.
Oh.
Like a moaning cry.
I did not know this.
We should look up the sound of a loon.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that after this.
Insert Talon, the sound of a loon.
Dayman, fighter of the night man, champion of the sun. Dayman, stage freeze. Don't say stage freeze, just do it.
No, it's just so funny because I was thinking about that, the Nightman earlier because I thought that's what Chris was humming.
Oh.
Like as I was waking up this morning, he was out in the living room and he was headed back into the bedroom and he was actually singing a different It's Always Sunny.
Of
leave
course.
leave a little dirt under your pillow for the dirt man.
There's a dirt man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
God.
that's It's Always Sunny
I
as
don't
well.
fucking know, dude.
I gotta look now. Oh, this isn't It's Always Sunny. I'm a liar. This is Carter Vale from TikTok. He does a lot of really like, I don't know, they're just very strange, like funny little songs and check him out. He too will have you singing weird stuff. Huh. Okay, there is, I'll read this. Maybe I'll lean on you for if you think there's a connection or something that you feel like you can relate back to the story. So
Okay.
we know it's a loon. Is there anything else we need from the PNW interpretation?
Oh, it's very short. I'll read it at the end.
Oh, okay. When looking for adventure in a dark and deserted landscape. Okay, I realize as I'm saying it out loud, that feels a little connected. Dark, little bit. It's I wouldn't say deserted, more rural. Rural. We should only ask for the light of the moon. Then our imaginations can create more exotic explanations for the rustling in the undergrowth or the dark (bottomless ? Voids which open up ahead of us.
Ooh.
Okay.
It just reminds me of whoever was like sneaking out
Yeah.
like around the house and they like found that footprint, right?
Yes.
The 1 foot.
The 1 foot.
We're looking for a one-legged man.
Yes. We're looking for someone who's recently acquired a pogo stick.
How crazy would it be though if it was like a one-legged person who did this?
I know, but like, how are they just walking around one-legged and not leaving any other impression?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did have a stick and they didn't like find the little stick impression or whatever. Maybe they just.
We might need to.
Obviously, I'm going off the rails here, but I'm just saying, like, what if that would be like a crazy clue?
Yeah.
It sounds like a movie.
I'm trying to think about that and like, is that something people are going to interpret like our commentary in that as being like ableist or insensitive in a way?
I mean, I don't
Maybe
see
not.
how, but
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting real caught up. We are very easily distracted.
just be crazy.
We comfort ourselves too much with light. sometimes we must wander in the dark so that our other senses can find their full expression, and we hear more clearly the message of the night, the wilderness, and the strange creatures that inhabit the unseen spaces.
Wow. Like a loon.
I was literally just and the dirt man.
It's almost like when they're putting together like these special tarot decks, like they really
Yeah.
put a lot of thought into like what animal goes on it. Because I
Oh,
feel
I
like
think so.
a lot of the time
Absolutely.
it's so connected with, even
Mhm.
though it's not a traditional imagery on the deck, like just the wording is so connected with whatever
Mhm.
animal. Anyway, I just wanted to sound smart for a second.
No,
Uh,
I feel like that was a good observation. I feel like I think we've found that on each of these cards, it seems like very thoughtful.
yeah.
Yeah, I concur.
Which I like that. I love that.
Yeah, someone get my monocle.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. It kind of, most of the keywords are the same, but there's one in here that says vagueness and misconceptions,
Okay,
instability, anxiety, insecurity.
yeah.
That's
I mean, those all make
interesting. Yeah,
sense.
totally.
I feel like I don't know. I think sometimes it's like we will look at a glance at the keywords and say, "Oh, they're basically the same or whatever." But I think sometimes words that are synonymous, they're not exactly the same. They have kind of different
Yeah.
connotations. I feel like I'm always glad when we kind of read through and find something that maybe it expands a little
Yeah.
bit.
I don't think yours said vagueness was like
No.
vague. It just reminded me of like, oh, good enough.
Hmm. Well, and I feel like there's something about like where it's talking about sort of mystery and darkness
Mhm.
that implies sort of like a
Yeah.
murky or, vagueness.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That just really screamed like we did a
yeah.
good enough job collecting the evidence. That was what they had said, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hard to forget that turn of
Yeah.
phrase.
Okay, this is very short.
Okay.
It's breeding season,
Oh.
and the loon lays her 2 eggs, 2 gray-green speckled orbs, each a perfect image of the other. Her nest floats upon the mirror of the lake, a surface identical in color to the night sky. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Looking deeper, dipping her head below and then back above, then below again, the loon dives into the gray-green glow of the moon reflected. Gray-green. I can't even say it again.
No, never again.
She resurfaces with her catch and floats on the veil midway between 2 luminous speckled orbs, each the perfect image of the other.
You know what that makes me think of? I mean, it's a little bit, it kind of is, I don't know. It's all interpretation. So I guess take it for what it is. But that kind of makes me think of like these are 2 like really good friends, right? That have sort of like I don't know. In a weird way, it just reminds me of like sort of their bond and how it started off as, you know, a friendship and now it's like become more romantic. I don't know. That make any sense?
Or kind of. It
Okay.
made me kind of also think of like his family that had like the farm, and I don't know why, just like the mother with her eggs and like, I don't know.
There's definitely really strong feminine energy that it seems like plays into this card and into the reading. So that's interesting.
The moon, yes, very
Yeah.
feminine.
But it makes sense because there were multiple women that were involved, even just tangentially. Because I was going to say, part of the interpretation also reminded me of like, speaking of shit that Dawn said that may or may not be true, like, think about the sheriff's wife. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
Hood River's a small place, so I'm sure she had met Eric, but like, wow.
Yeah.
To just have this rumor start. That was, one thing that the sheriff said, like, yeah, that was kind of one of the difficult aspects of, and like the most difficult of the rumors for him to kind of like process and deal with. Because it's like, well, yeah, I mean, if she wasn't doing anything, nefarious, then, that's that's shitty. You're just drawn into
Yeah.
this. Like, and it's, I don't know, kind of goes back to what I was saying about like, this is a personal tragedy, you know, that Eric has passed and for his family. And then to have that sort of just become about these other characters that like maybe didn't, you know, like small town, but like I'm sure she knew him, but maybe not even that well.
Yeah.
And suddenly we're talking about her, like
Yeah.
not any fault of her own that, you know, that we know of, but you know, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Probably not. Like,
Boo.
wow. Well, that was cool.
Yeah.
I really like too that it's like Hood River and then we got like a water card. Do you guys like the apple on the altar?
Ooh.
That was Caitlin's little apple.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I'm a little concerned about. I went to go find some fruit to try to, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, orchard. And I was like, Jesus, do I have scurvy? There's like no fruit in here. I have a bag of apples, but
Because
that
you
was
ate
it.
it all.
Yes. No, I do. I have some other fruit in the fridge, but none of it was like orchard. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he was
Right.
growing kiwis.
Yeah.
I do have a
all
couple of
you need
those.
is an apple. So you're
It's
fine.
true. Apple a day and all that.
Keeps the men away.
If only, you know?
I don't know why I said that, but it was funny.
I enjoyed it.
Well, thanks.
Well, should we do that thing?
Yeah, let's do it. We hope everyone has like a really good Valentine's Day. Obviously, whether you celebrate or not, you can have a Galentine's. You could just
I was
be
just going to
alone.
say Valentine's, Galentine's,
Nothing at all.
Palentine's.
Alone in times.
I didn't care for that one.
Have a creepy ass Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Actually, creepy
But, like,
Valentine's. I
yeah,
don't
maybe
know.
don't. Be
Mm.
safe.
Yeah.
Give your friends your location if you're going on a date. Just I don't care how long you've known them. If you're married, I don't care. Give your friends your fucking location. Because like the husband probably did
I
it.
mean, let's face it. My husband did it, you know?
I guess that goes for men too. If you're a man too, give your friend your location. No one is safe.
Yeah. Nothing and no one is